Hello everyone, in this video we're going to cover upgrading the firmware of the Cubro Packetmaster series of network packet brokers using the command line interface. And here I have an SSH session open to my EX32. If I list the directory contents of the /mount/flash directory that we are located in whenever we log into the device, I'm going to see the exupdate3.sh script right here. And this script is going to allow us to upgrade the firmware, and there's going to be two methods that I'm going to talk about using this script to update the firmware, but I'll just make you aware that if you type exupdate3.sh and then follow that with a -h, you're going to get a list of all of the arguments that you can use with this script and what they do. The first method for upgrading the firmware is assuming that your Packetmaster has a direct connection to the internet. You can simply type in exupdate3.sh and hit enter. And Packetmaster is going to prompt you whether you want to keep your current configuration or not. So typing yes will allow you to retain all of your rules, your users, all of the settings that you've changed. That will all persist through the firmware upgrade. If you type no, then you will be effectively returning the Packetmaster to a default factory state. I'm going to hit Y for yes, and we're going to see that this is actually going to reach out to the Cubro.com update servers and grab the latest firmware image. Once that's finished downloading, it's going to go ahead and unpack that stuff, and after a short period of time, it's going to prompt us to reboot the device in order to apply that firmware upgrade. Okay, we've been prompted to press the any key to reboot the device. That's going to apply the firmware upgrade, so go ahead and hit that any key, and our connection here is going to close. This device is going to be rebooting, and we'll come back and take a look at this when it's finished. And our device is finished rebooting, so let's go ahead and open that SSH session back up. And now the process that we just used is fantastic, assuming that you have a connection to the internet. However, it would be perfectly reasonable in a production environment to only have the Packetmaster on the local area network and not be able to reach outside of that. So another method in which we can upgrade the firmware on the Packetmaster is actually by supplying and specifying the firmware image that we will be using to upgrade. In order to do this, let's go to a web browser and let's go to our Cubro.com/Cubro/update site and select the folder that pertains to the device that you're using, and we're going to go ahead and go in there and grab the latest tar.gz file or the specific firmware image that you're looking for and download that. Save this in my downloads directory. And we're going to move this file over to the Packetmaster using something like SCP or SFTP, the Secure Copy Protocol or the Secure File Transfer Protocol. Now on a Windows machine, I'm going to use WinSCP to do this, and I'll just go ahead and log into my device while that file is still downloading. Okay, we see that we have our /mount/flash directory over here. We can see our exupdate shell script right there. So let's just grab this latest firmware image and drag it over into this directory. It's going to ask us whether we really want to transfer that file, and I do. So through the magic of video, we are going to speed up this file transfer just a bit. And with that firmware image now copied over to our Packetmaster, let's just jump back into our SSH command line session. And if we hit an ls here, we should see our firmware image listed in the directory contents. So now we can use the exupdate3.sh shell script followed by a -f to indicate that we're specifying the firmware image file to use, and then the name of the image file that we just downloaded and transferred to the device. Go ahead and hit enter. Once again, you're going to be prompted as to whether you want to keep your current configuration or not. I'm going to keep it. And now we're going to go through the same process of unpacking that firmware image and waiting a short amount of time before the device prompts us to reboot to actually apply that firmware image. If you have any issues with the exupdate3 shell script, particularly related to automatically reaching out and downloading that file when it's run, the first step in troubleshooting that would be to make sure that you actually have the latest version of the shell script, and if not, to manually update that. I covered that subject in a few videos preceding this one, and in those videos I also went into slightly more detail about using SCP to transfer files over to the Packetmaster. But as far as upgrading the firmware using the command line interface, this pretty much covers everything you need to know. So thanks for watching, and take care everyone.